Hello all. Some questions have come up about using the corporate style guide which is a PDF file in Illustrator and also extracting certain parts of the corporate style guide. So I wanted to go over that with you on how you can open up the PDF in Illustrator and then copy and paste into another Illustrator document parts of the style guide. And I also wanted to make some running commentaries about the style guide. Um, what are the restrictions? I think some of you wanted to know what would it take to get exemplary in your rubrics moving forward, and I'll try to cover some of those topics. I'm going to attach a copy of the style guide to this announcement, and you can download it. I think I've done it elsewhere too. Anyway, once you've got it, just double click on it and you'll get something that looks like this. Now this is the Adobe Acrobat viewer, and let me see if I can bring it in. You can see the tools it has. Don't worry too much about the tools. Most of us are familiar with Acrobat. It's what we view PDFs in. And you can page down and see. First thing you see is the logo. Now I would suggest not tinkering too much with this, okay? Now, another thing that students often want to do is try to recreate this script. It's really difficult, and I honestly don't know what the typeface is. It's an engraved script, probably from the 19th century. We could identify it. This is something, it's an Art Deco typeface. Again, I would use it sparingly if you discover what it is. And here in Arial is the corporate typeface. Very plain, the corporate typeface. So think of ways to make it elegant or to suit your project brief. And then I'm sure you read through all this, and the color scheme is both in the print space, which is CMYK or Pantone colors, and then in the screen space, the RGB color space, it's hexadecimal. And it also gives you the typefaces or fonts, as they call it. So here's the approved logo. Here, if you need to use it in monochrome, grayscale, there it is. And so there you go. So that's what it looks like. Here are suggested type sizes as well as variations. Bold, italic you can use. And then these are the four color process colors. This is cyan, this is magenta, this is yellow. K stands for black. Um, so why do you think they didn't use B? Well, because it might be confused for blue, which is a part of the RGB. So they used the last letter of the word black for this. That's why it's CMYK. It's four color process. Black is considered a color. And then this is in the screen color space or the RGB color space. And these are the constituent colors, red, green, and blue. And these are well, not the percentage. These are percentages. These are just values. And they can also be expressed this way using hexadecimal equivalents. And they're all going to look slightly different. Nothing matches up really between print and the screen exactly. Some gamuts are really large and some are very small, so it's impossible for them to match up. Also, one is emitted light and the other is reflected. So what I'm going to do next is open up the style guide in Adobe Illustrator. So open Illustrator. You'll get something that looks like this. Now off screen, I'm going to go up here to File, Open. Look around for the style guide. And here that is. And open it. You might get an error message like this. Just click through them. I usually do without regretting it too much. And voila. Okay, so here's some new additions to Illustrator. You can take the tour. I just downloaded this new version, and here's the style guide in Illustrator. Now it's very simple. I think by now you're probably familiar with the basic tools of Illustrator. Let me show them. Okay, so this is the basic toolbar. All right, now to get there again off screen, I had to go up under Window. I think it is. Was it Workspace? Anyway, it's View Show Basics toolbar. These are the only tools you really will need in this class. You go to one of the select tools, and here's all you have to do. Is you just drag out what you want. In this case, I want the logo. Copy it to the clipboard. I'm on a Macintosh, and that's Command C. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is off screen here. I'm going to create a new Illustrator file. This is for our ad, and you have to click through some of this. Now we want a print ad here. So if you're going to start out creating a new document, go over here to print. It'll give you some more prompts. We want just a basic letter size, right? For the ad, we want it portrait orientation, and we want raster images to be 300 ppi or DPI too. So our color mode is CMYK. That's the print color space. That's the correct one. Go ahead and create, and then from the clipboard, we're going to paste the logo. Simple as that. Now we can adjust the logo. We can change the the fills. Illustrator is pretty much stroke and fill. Those are the two functions of Illustrator. These letter forms, for example, they are outlined. Let me zoom in here. And they have vector outlines. You can, distort them. I'm sure you've discovered that. I don't recommend that. These letter forms are designed by designers. It's like like drawing a mustache on the Mona Lisa. All right, and then you can adjust their fill too. See, this has that turquoise corporate color. You can change that, but make sure you use the Bindhex or the RGB equivalents that are in the style guide, just to keep everything consistent. Okay, so here's the other set of dialog boxes in Illustrator, and you can see that I've got by default, we've created a new layer for this. You can go back and label it. This will be the first of your layers if you want. You can move layers around too. I'm just going to call it logo, okay? Then I'm going to create a new layer here, and I think to do that, this is so small on my screen here. See, the nice thing about Illustrator and Photoshop is that as you scroll over, you get these descriptions. So what we want to do is create a new layer, and there it is, layer 2. I'm going to call that photo. Now this could be the, oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so I've created a second layer. I've labeled it photo, and now I'm going to go fish around for a photo I can put on it. So to do that in Illustrator, again, this is going to be off screen. I have to go up under File, or let's see, File, Place. You can see it down here, and it's going to prompt me, to search around for it. Hey, I'm going to use a student's work. This is Anjali's Bordley's collage, and I'm going to put that in here. She's a student in this class. This is one of her own works, and from outside of the class. She works in collage, and I'm thinking that she could use that way of illustrating her Amethyst Bay ad. So anyway, I'm just gonna. I don't know how large it is. It's a good size for this too. And sorry, Anjali, if I am destroying your work, but this could be interesting. All right, so notice that the photo is on top of the logo, so you can always move layers around. That's not a big deal. So what I did is I moved these layers around. I put the photo underneath the logo. I think I did. And but notice that there is this linked thing. What that means is that you haven't really placed the photo there. It's referring to a photo that is probably on your hard drive. So when you do that this week, make sure that you include the photos, the linked photos. And I know that may not be clear in the rubric, but if you don't, I won't be able to see it. Now we're going to save this as a PDF where it will be embedded, the image or the photo, and I'll show you how to do that at the end. Let me continue on to create our last layer, which is a color solid. Now this, I think according to the rubric, this background image should be either last week's manipulated photo or this week's silhouette, ideally. But just getting it on the same surface would be good. Now to create a color solid, I'm going to create another layer here, and I'm going to well, in this case, I probably have to create a box. So I'm going to go to the, what is this tool called? Rectangle tool key. And I'm going to create a box. Ooh, but first I want, okay, layer 3, I want to label this before I forget what it is. I'm going to call this color solid. Portrait color. And it's on its own layer. Then what I'm going to do is fill it. So I've got a box there. Remember I said the gist of Illustrator is stroke and fill. I'm going to, there's my rectangle, so that's good. Oops, created 2 of them, didn't need that. I'm going to go back to select the rectangle, go to the fill box, and here's where you can key in the bind hex equivalents, or you can try this. Use the eyedropper tool and sample this or this, okay? That way you get a bunch of variations. Now, I haven't designed anything here. You're gonna have to add type eventually. I haven't even addressed the principles of design. I'll let that be displayed in some images I'm going to show along with this announcement. I know it's long. I hope this helps. Good luck. Oh, before I sign off though, okay, so let's say we're done. File. Now you wanted to save it, of course, but you also want to save a copy. Try this. Save a copy as a PDF. All right, and you can or EPS. This way, the images will be embedded, and you can call this whatever you like, but it's going to be a PDF that you will submit to me. Okay. And that will be 222, right? All right, good job, or good luck in doing a good job. Bye-bye.